Happy Tuesday evening, everybody. Welcome into One Up Fantasy, a part of Shy City Sports, a new show coming to Shy City Sports very, very soon. We have a special episode here before we get into the nuts and bolts of everything fantasy football for the 2021 season, and that's to talk Scott Fish Bowl season, SFB 11. It is day 2 of the drafts. We'll talk a little bit about what Scott Fish Bowl is, but first let's introduce the man who is joining me here on the live stream, as we'll be joined by several other people as we move through the night here. But Sam Wagman, you can find his work on Ball Blast and Football Guys. Sam, thanks for hopping on. We're going to talk a little Scott Fish Bowl here. How you feel so far about how your drafts are going?
Well, you said it best backstage. You were a little jealous of the start, but you know what? I honestly, I think it kind of went a little bit off the rails for me. You know, I've been trying to get a great tight end the entire time, and I'm not a huge Kittle guy this year, so I passed on him at 112 and 201, and went the other way with Saquon and Russ, and I kind of been chasing ever since, a little bit here, a little bit there, and they've kind of not fallen my way. But I finally took Noah Fant at 701, and we'll go from there. It kind of throws a little bit of a wrench in, but we're here to reassess.
Still plenty of road to go before
Absolutely.
the end of the draft. So a lot can go right, a lot can go wrong. I think that's the best way to put it for how crazy these are. So before we dive in, if you are new to hearing about the Scott Fish Bowl, this is year 11 of the Scott Fish Bowl, a huge fantasy football competition that its main driver is raising money for charity, raising money for more or less charities that are important to the players, and specifically Fantasy Cares, which raises money for Toys for Tots, helping kids in need around the holiday season. So many different things going on between the actual Fantasy Football League itself, over 1,900 players, 160 divisions, the biggest it has ever been. The Scott Fish Bowl Potathon just wrapped up this morning. They've raised over $20,000. I know they're creeping up on $30,000. So it just continues to climb and climb and climb. The Avi makers, which I've had the opportunity to work with, creating all sorts of different avatars for Twitter. The shirts, the Scott Fish Bowl shirts through Viridian Global, Pod Shirts, RotoWear. I mean, it's just nonstop. And the amount of money that is being raised is insane, all for a great, great cause. But we are here to talk about how these first 2 days have gone. We're going to also talk about your rosters as well. So if you'd like us to break down what we think about your roster, feel free to drop in a comment here, and we will pull it up. We'll give it as good of a roast as we possibly can through the course of the evening here while we're streaming. So without further ado, we'll hop in here again. We're just going to go down through different teams. We'll use the Football Workshop. Andy Estridge, shout out to him for the fantastic site, being able to do these crazy mock drafts, and honestly send me off my rocker. I mean, nothing has gone according to plan for the countless number of mocks I did. I don't know about you, but it's it's absolutely crazy to see how all this has gone. Yeah, I mean, so it's a super flex league. There are special bonuses. It's tight end premium. There's bonuses for first downs. The quarterback scoring is very unforgiving. So we'll explain why you're set up very well here. 6-point touchdowns. You lose I believe it's a full point or half a point for incompletions. You lose.
It's a point. Yeah. It's a point for incompletions, but you gain a point, half a point for completions, I think.
Yeah, and then you lose a point for sacks. So if your offensive line sucks, God help you. So just a lot to put into play here. A lot of quarterbacks will give you negative weeks if you're not too careful. Mitchell Trubisky, for Bears fans out there, for you, of those of you watching on Shy City Sports, got you plenty of negative games last year. So like I said, we're going to dive into these. We'll start with yours. Like you said, you went, pretty solid here. Saquon and Wilson at the turn. So you're sitting in that 112 spot. How do you feel about that 112 spot?
You know what? I gotta be honest. If I had to go over it again, I think I would probably choose a different spot. I think I would probably go for the 8 or 9 spot. The way I thought about it, I didn't really consider that it wasn't exactly an absolute that grabbing 3 of the first 25 picks was the best thing, because it kind of makes me sacrifice on that first pick. And while I could have had Lamar or Herbert or one of the other kind of more premier quarterbacks, Russ is kind of the start of the next tier of guys. And, I think I would have been much more comfortable with that. There's a chance that I probably could have gotten Saquon at, maybe a pick or 2 later. So if I had to do it again, I probably would, given the fact that I could have still gotten someone like Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers if I didn't get Ryan Tannehill. But the start is great. Being able to go Russ, who's one of the most efficient guys in this format when he needs to be, is great. And then Saquon is, he's still Saquon.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, coming off of the ACL, I mean, there's a little bit of concern there, but still, I mean, the value there at 112, the way that ACL injuries are nowadays, where it used to be a death sentence, 20, 30 years ago, and now, I mean, you see guys bounce back and honestly be better than they were before. Adrian Peterson's a perfect example with all of the knee injuries that he experienced over the years. But that third round reversal, it's played its way into quite a few strategies, and I'm sure that was part of the reason you went with that 112 is just the fact you get 3 of the top 25 picks. I'm jealous of. I was at the 101, so I'm sitting here waiting around like, okay, well, you get the first pick off the top, you get your pick of the litter, but at the same time, man, that is a weight and a half, and you just pray that
well, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing at the 12s. I mean, you're still waiting, that 22, 23 picks after you pick, and then you have to pray that like the big list of like 11 or 12 guys that you want, you at least have a choice when you get there. So, that's that's been for me waiting. And I've seen some guys go off. The 4th round was really brutal for that. I had 4 wide receivers go straight in front of this pick along with TJ Hawkinson, all who I had, just ahead of Keenan Allen. And while he's great to have as your wide receiver 1, he's not the guy I wanted there, kind of like A.J. Brown or DK Metcalf to pair with one of my quarterbacks.
Absolutely. I mean, Keenan Allen's not a bad start there for the wide receiver by any means. We have somebody else that is joining us here at One Up Fantasy, so let's bring him in. He is the founder of the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. It is Rum Boys Robbie. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing good. Yo, cheers to me. Cheers to you. Shout out to the whole One Up Fantasy crew. I saved this shot for all of you. Dilly dilly.
Cheers, Robbie.
Dilly. We're just talking about just how crazy. What pick are you at here in SFB?
I am in the Tupac division at the 104, baby. Let's go. West Side.
We'll pull you up here. So, I mean, how are you? How you moving along here? So, oh wow, you guys are. Let's see here. Oh, round 4. Okay. So little. You got the color combination going on. Just sticking with running back and quarterback to start here.
I mean. Okay, go ahead. My fault.
No, you're good. I mean, was this what you had in mind when you started off, or is it everything off the rails like a lot of people are kind of experiencing?
It's actually exactly what I had in mind. I wish this happened actually on this podcast because you guys just missed my reaction. As you see, you mentioned the color combination I got going there. We go Derrick Henry, then we go Tannis Skill. So we go King Henry, Tannis Skill, the Fresh Prince of Edwards-Helaire. And then we go beam me up, Scotty Kirk Cousins. From there, I was expecting, and what my plot is, and I messed up and I showed my hand. Actually, I didn't mess up because I've been walking around podcasts all week talking cash shit. Honestly, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm gonna do. how I'm gonna do it, and you're still not gonna beat me. And I'm sure my league mates were sitting back and they were like, "Oh, word, that's how you operating? Yeah, that's how I'm operating." So Justin Jefferson went ahead and went off as soon as I grabbed Captain Kirk. It's fine. I can still stack him up with Thielen. That's not what I wanted. We all know I'm a JJ truther. I'm looking to see if I can snag AJ Brown, but I don't want to have a triple stack. But a triple stack is now inevitable. So those are my next couple of moves, my next hands, and then after I establish a stack in round 5, I plan to go get me a tight end. Maybe Andrews is still there. These guys don't appear to be too high on tight end. Or if not Andrews, then I go Goddard.
Which is crazy because the big three, I think in the Queen division, were all gone by 203. I know there were even a few divisions where they were all first round picks, and it's like that's excessive. But again, you kind of just play with the hand that you're dealt, and like you said, you've been around on so many pods and talking about it. I've been one to kind of just, I don't know, lead a fake trail almost under that same regard.
Oh no, like me, I am completely transparent with my followers. I don't give a damn. I'm ready to go at any moment, and I'll duke it out with the best of the fantasy football players. Whether you're a fan, you're a celebrity, you're an analyst, we're here to have fun. We're here to compete for charity, baby.
Absolutely.
It's tens of thousands of dollars have been raised. I know we're well over the $30,000 mark. I mean, it's just it's crazy. It is crazy how much has been raised so far. We've got one more guest. So let's bring him in. It is Jorge Martin from Familia FFB, sir. How you doing this evening?
So good. Thank you. Gracias for having me. It's un gran placer. Always glad to share the screen with so many cool people. I mean, it's awesome. Robbie was just on with me a little bit ago, so he's making the rounds tonight. He's obviously, yesterday he was on the Podathon too, so he's just he's definitely making it.
He's killing it. He's killing it.
Yes, he is.
Him and Herms were something else. That's one of the greatest 30-minute segments I've seen.
that was, and you know what, they needed the hosts at that time. They really needed it because you could tell that those guys were already dragging and so tired, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh man, I couldn't believe that they still had to go 5 more hours after that. So it was just
well, they got a nice break there. I mean, they had the women's power hour at
yes.
it was 8 to 9 or 9 to 10, I can't remember. And then having Robbie and Herms and then Steph and Linda back to back must have been the greatest boost to like morale.
They could have taken a nap. They could have taken a nap. And
they
just
literally could have. I mean, that was clinical.
Bro,
was great.
Like I felt like, so I was watching the Podathon yesterday, like the whole way through, pretty much, whether I was like in the car, whatever. And man, like I felt like when the Rum Boys came to do their thing, like I felt like there was certain people out there that when they were watching the lineup, how like I don't know if y'all ever been to a festival and like you're looking at like all the DJs, all the artists and bands that are playing. Think of it been like a Bonnaroo or something, or like something like that. And man, I think that people like really they were looking at that lineup and they saw that the Rum Boys was going to be there, and then when that happened, like I think that energy just went on 10, and then after that it was like different, But that's what it is. Like you got to be entertaining in this industry, like Jorge's roster right here. You gotta be entertaining.
Dude, I will say I love Jorge's start here going Herbert Waller.
It's a great start.
It's a
man,
badass start.
Such a great start.
I tell you, I got so giddy when I started first doing mocks, and I just kept seeing Waller drop to 212. Like there ain't a chance in hell this is happening, and it didn't. And I'm kind of pissed because now I'm probably gonna be ending up with like Cole Kmet in like the 13th at the rate things are moving along here. But let's talk through the thought process here. Are things going the way that you anticipated them to with this roster here through 5?
In Fuego.
Not at all. Not at all. I was really a couple mocks that I did for some unknown reason. Lamar Jackson kept falling to me at 10, but then after the more I heard people talking, there's no way he was going to get there. I was thrilled to get Herbert. I really there was the fiber of my fantasy football being has always been running back, and I really fought that to get Waller where I did. I just kept saying, you know what, my two teams that made it to the championship game last year were because of Travis Kelce and Waller and Kittle, maybe the only guys who could get on a same level as him this year. And so I just said, hey, you know what, let's take it, let's be different and grab there. I tell you, I was thrilled to get Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So, because I think he was the guy that was really going to be, I think he's going to take a big step up this year in year 2. I think he's going to become more of a part of the passing game. I just had one of the beat writers, Joshua Briscoe, who
sure did.
Chiefs, and he had a lot of things to say about how they're going to use him, what he looked like in minicamp. He looked a little bit stronger, and so all of a sudden that just has me thinking, you know what, Brian Westbrook, when he took that big leap in the Andy Reid offense, it's that point. And then going to Keenan Allen, I was like, I really wanted to go running back again at that point, but I knew I had only 4 picks until the next pick, and one of the teams already had 2 running backs. So I thought, okay, I'm going to have at most, I'm probably going to lose 1 running back between those. And I said, I got to get that stack with Keenan Allen. I did pass up Michael Thomas to do it, but I wanted that stack.
That's worth it though, especially in this format, brother. I mean, we were just talking on your show, so I mean, you already know this.
Yeah.
Why am I saying it?
Well, that's a whole new
I was
audience
literally
here.
just on Jorge's show. Like I don't know why I just did that. Like I was like, he already knows. I don't know why I just tried to validate it. Sorry.
No, you never have to apologize. The one thing I will say, I'm gonna white knuckle it a little bit to get that quarterback. I'm in the 10 hole, so I'm gonna be going 6-10. I got to wait until that point, and I still got probably about 10 more picks to go.
But for you, there are multiple different options in terms of in terms of value. You can maybe pull off a Trey Lance. If you want to wait on how that situation plays out in Chicago, and maybe you play something else in your flex instead of that QB. You can do that. Maybe you want to take a gamble on Houston, right? And you're like, you know what, fuck, like I'll pull the trigger on Davis Mills. I'll just keep hunting QB, like QB2 for like a hot minute. For you, there are possibilities. Maybe you start off with Cam Newton and like figure, all right, I'll get Cam Newton, and maybe I either roster Mac Jones right now, or either I just wait to play that on waivers. So your start allows you a multitude of different outlooks. I would say that, yes, obviously QB2 is the next thing. You could probably punt on wide receiver 2 for a hot minute, maybe for the next 2 rounds. I would say maybe, I would either go QB2, or either I'm looking to go with a RB3. And those would be the decisions that I would make, but it would be priority based off of what you're wanting. It's all based off of your risk assessment. Hey, Swagman, is that my OnlyFans on in the background?
No, that is. I have the golf match on the.
Nice.
Oh, you got a Brady and Rogers, and Bryson DeChambeau.
Watching that for some nice comedy earlier.
Oh yeah, bro! Brady was so savage towards Rodgers earlier today. This man literally goes, who hates his boss and nobody else wants him. And bro, when he said that, I was like, yo, I don't think
who was Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I was like, I don't think you can be that mean. Like, I don't think you can do that. Steven, your draft looked like it went. You went into 6 rounds in 48 hours.
Yeah, no, we've been cruising. We've got one guy down in Brazil. We've got another one in Belgium and another one in Australia. So we're international here in the division.
We got one person in Hawaii. That's what we have.
No, damn it! My gosh, Mark Andrews just went off the board.
What pick?
Hole 9. I was
Robbie.
That's kept falling.
Ooh, man.
Oh.
He
I'm gonna
won a
keep
couple
getting
before
sniped.
mine
I'm
too.
gonna keep getting sniped because I everyone's went back and watched the last two pods that I was just on. I know.
They're going to
I know.
have it out for you from here on out at the rate
Well,
that it's going to go.
It's my fault. Like Scott put me in the league. So it's literally the two biggest people in my league is like myself and Jesse Morris, and then there's one of my writers in here as well. So like that doesn't help anyone when you have someone who fucking watches your content and works for you, like in the same league. Like it's not. So I mean, and then on top of that, like Scott like filled this one. I know it's all completely randomized, and people pick which artists they want. There are like I got Dan Titus from Fantasy Pros up in here. Excuse me. Then I got John Morfoot, who's a graphic designer. He's on the SFB Abbeys, and works with a DLF. Clock Dodgers is in here. He's down in Florida. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, like it's all the fans. Like they're all international. Like I think Scott sent international hitters after Rumblings. Like he was like, y'all need to pull up and drive by that shit. Like like right now, like. We got a couple of dudes from Lithuania, one from Germany, like one from the UK.
Yeah,
just going the full international hitman squad there,
man.
I mean, I somehow ended up with 3 thieves in my division, so I can't talk strategy in any group chat.
Yeah,
I am not safe from any strategy except my pick chat. In any of the group chats that we're in, everyone is in there. Bo's in there, Maddie's in there, so I can't talk about anything in front of these guys.
Call your shot, just like Larry Bird on Dominique Wilkins, where he tells him exactly what he's gonna do, and then goes and does it, makes a buzzer beater in his face, and walks off winning the game.
I wish I could do that, but like my ass has been in the industry for freaking the last 4 years. So like everyone's just like, oh, like I want to go back to being new. Fuck it, where's my time machine?
No one's coming after you with the pitchfork at that point.
Yeah, no one's after you.
Yeah,
and to get the international feel. I mean, I'm in the U2 division. I got 2 guys from Ireland in there. I'm like, oh man, they're getting straight, info from Bono. So it's awesome. It's awesome. And actually, Big Gear, I'll tell you this right now. A little insider information. Carson Wentz is going to be good because Brad Evans just took him in the what is it? We're in the 5th round.
I love
Is
that.
he gonna be good because Brad Evans took him? Brad, I love you, but hold on. What voodoo do you have over players that I know?
Didn't Brad finish dead last 2 years ago? I think he did.
Did he?
I think he did. I think he was like literally out of like 1,000 teams. Brad Evans finished last. I could be wrong on that, but I'm 99% sure that happened.
I love Brad, but he gets ballsy, bro.
He does.
Like,
I mean,
that man does not care what anyone else's opinion is or what anyone else thinks, and that's what I respect.
For that same reason, though, like you almost have to be ballsy in a league like this. We were talking about over 1,900 players. You got to do something. I mean, you go, with the board and you just keep taking BPA on the ADP. You're gonna get screwed. Like that isn't gonna help anybody. No. And I mean, after a while, I mean, I think I saw Jonathan Taylor get first overall in a couple of leagues.
Wow! No way.
I mean, I'm dead serious. If you check it out, I'm pretty sure in 2 he went 101. So I mean, kind of sucks that we're not in those leagues and we don't get that benefit. There's another guy. I want to say it was like at the 110. He started with an Alan Kyler stack. Like, think about that. Yeah, Alan Kyler at like the 110 and 202.
The owner of Dynasty Nerds. Yeah.
My God. Who did he pay?
He wins.
Like, who did he pay to get off like that, man? Like, that's just a cheat code and a half. Man. And like, I'm sitting here meanwhile, because like, in no point did I anticipate taking 3 running backs in the first 6 rounds. I'm like, okay, we start with CMC. We don't touch running back for a while. Then Chubb falls. Then Dobbins falls. I'm like, okay, well, this is
it's inevitable. Like that's inevitable. Like me personally, I would run it with that fucking roster.
Yeah.
Like
Go ahead, Robbie.
I was just saying, it's impressive as hell. Like you punted on QB until the third.
Dude, I was
At the
praying.
end.
I told the Queen Chat I was praying to every deity out there that Burrow would fall to 312.
Bro, so did Ryan did Ryan get snatched off the board? And that's why you ended up having to go Wentz?
Yeah. So Ryan went about 4 picks before I chose. So did Roethlisberger. So I had the choice between Wentz, Goff.
Don't leave it out. Don't leave it out.
Dave Kluge has revoked my Bears fandom card because I didn't take Justin Fields. I'm sorry,
Bro.
but I'm not taking a dude in the 6th
Hold on.
round who ain't starting anytime soon because
Hey.
Matt Nagy is a moron and will not start in week 1 like he should. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Bro, hey, worst things can happen. As soon as you brought up Justin Fields, I just got done expressing this on Warriors show. I'm gonna call Burks out because I don't give a fuck. Yo, the homie Dr. Jesse Morris, we have been picked after like right next to each other, and my dog went Justin Fields as his QB1.
Oh no.
Well, he has like Devontae Adams, Aaron
Ugh.
Jones, and then went crazy on the Packers, and then took Travis Kelce as his first pick at the 105. And I was
you can't argue.
Yeah, I can't argue with the Travis Kelce joint, but after everything else, I'm like, whoa.
Oh.
I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah. It's a great question. Oh man, that's
that's not the two
That's
Packers that
something,
you
man.
stack.
well, no, it's not the two packages you stack, and like I'm not even like I didn't even touch them with the fact that we don't know what the hell is going on with Aaron Rodgers. It's like this is just asking for trouble. But yeah, man, I mean, Godspeed to him. I mean, that's all you can say at this point.
being bold.
I love you, but I have been roasting the hell out of you for the last fucking 5 hours.
Oh man, I mean, I will say this. It's very possible that Andy Dalton could get his bell rung against the Rams
week 1,
and all of a sudden it is Justin Fields. I mean, I'm not hoping that, maybe not. I don't know. Depending on how well the preseason goes and how much we see out of Fields and if he is indeed ready, but who knows, man? That's oh boy.
I just feel like with Dalton, they don't want him to die. They don't want Fields to die against Aaron Donald week 1. Isn't that just cruel?
It's true.
Isn't that just cruel?
You don't want to
Why
mean,
do you gotta be so cruel, Sam?
Man, well, and then they got like the Browns a couple weeks later, and it's like that's that. You don't want to touch that either.
That's also
that
not
defensive
great.
line.
So
It's
maybe
like just-
4 games.
Just
Four
like
games.
beat the living hell out of Andy Dalton, and then have him come in. Here's $10 million to get your ass whooped for a month.
Fuck.
But you know what?
I'd do that.
There are some cupcake games in there. You got Cincinnati in
Yeah.
between the Rams and the Browns, and then after the Browns, you got Detroit and the Raiders. So,
That's true.
Brown, but with that new and improved defense, is that really a cupcake game? Like in terms of facing the Browns, like
Oh no,
I had the Browns as a dark
The
horse.
the
Bengals.
Browns are going to be good. I'm
Oh,
talking
the
about the
Bengals.
Bengals.
Oh, yeah,
Bengals-
the
Bengals would be good too.
No, but not that
Okay.
defense.
Not
No,
that
not the
defense.
defense. Not the
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah, not the defense.
Yeah, that's why I'm high on Joe Burrow because he's gonna have to throw 50 times a game just to keep his team in
Yeah.
it because that defense is gonna be so
Yep.
horrific. So we're gonna take a look at some other squads so far in the first 2 days of SFB 11. If you want to get a roasting of your squad, drop a comment into the comment section. First, we have Rico Stone. He's in the Earth, Wind, and Fire division, throwing it back to the 70s with the music there.
I love it.
Say that you remember
dancing in September.
Oh. You guys want to get a place jumping, a wedding jumping. You
Oh,
go to
yeah.
the DJ, ask for that song. Everyone
Oh.
gets on. The
Everybody.
young people, the old people, everybody's got to get on. Oh,
Hey,
I
yeah.
always make sure.
Was it
Always
that
be
and Let's Groove? Those are the two that they got.
Yes.
Man, just throw it all the way back. Only 4 rounds here so far. We got Patrick Mahomes,
104.
TJ Hawkinson at the
Nice.
9. Wow. Oh, that's ballsy. That is ballsy. Burrow. So he's got quarterback taken care of, but man, that second round pick.
That second round pick tells me that all the tight ends went super quick and he tilted.
Yeah,
that's a tilt move right there.
I mean, this is kind of good. I mean, it's a really bad reach on Hawkinson, but look where you got Najee.
Yeah, you got Najee at 4, and that's what kind of balances out having to get Hawkinson. But that to me tells me either A, you're a Lions fan, or B, you had to reach. Like, and more than likely you had to reach. Like no one's grabbing Hawkinson at 209. Like
no.
You know.
What running backs did this person pass on to get Hawkinson?
Exactly.
That's the question here. Let's see if the big board will pull it up here. I don't know how quickly this is going to pull here, but this might give us a full.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Joey Wright says I'd like to be.
All right, so you're right. You're right, Robbie.
Yeah, there was a run. There was a run. Man, this is an interesting board. I don't blame him for passing up Diggs and Hill. I really don't. I think
no,
taking a wide out in the second is asking for a lot.
He really didn't pass up much.
I would have. I don't know if I would have went Hawkinson. I might have gone Andrews if I'm going to do that.
See, Andrews is one. I don't know how to feel about Andrews. You higher on Andrews than you are Hawkinson for this year?
Robbie's always an Andrews guy.
It's always going to be Andrews. And TJ. I mean, nothing against. I mean, one of my favorite interviews. But I mean, great guy. Fucking looks like he eats sequoia trees for breakfast and puts creatine in his cornflakes. But no, man, I would more than likely take Andrews over Hawkinson just because Lamar. We know that Lamar targets the middle of the field when he does choose to pass, which is going to also make a guy like Rashad Bateman, super popular in later rounds. So yeah, I mean, I'd probably go Andrews over Hawkinson, but I see what he did there, and I see how he got forced into that.
Yeah, it's a very unique board in that second round where it's just tight end and running back city, and it probably to an extent he's probably in a little bit of pain knowing that it went that way. I'd have to imagine as well.
Yeah, there's no way that you're not agonizing.
Right. Well, and I mean, you think the 1-6, the 1-7, and the 1-9 all pass on a quarterback in the second round after going non-QB in the first. And it's like, man, that in itself, I mean, to go 3 rounds, I was already sweating, having to wait till the 3-12 to take my first quarterback. It's not an easy, not an easy scoring setup to try and attempt to do that for as many quarterbacks that were going off the board.
But this is why I always say you need to be water and you need to know what type of risk you are willing to take. Me personally, with that roster, I don't think I would probably, after seeing all those tight ends go, I would have just comforted myself and like, I'm not going to reach. I'm just going to let it be what it is and let me, I would have probably established a run right there at that pick. Was that a 2-9?
Yeah,
2-9, and after him went Antonio Gibson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Cam Akers, and DeAndre Swift in the next round.
Akers at the 3-5 is a good pick. I mean, DeAndre Swift at the 3-1. That
is head.
Yeah,
head spinning.
Yeah, I mean, this division is a very unique division at the way that they chose to take some of their approaches. I'm curious to see how all this plays out for all of them, because it looks like for me, what I'm seeing, it looks like a lot of people are forcing each other into decisions. It's a lot of push and tug in this division.
Yeah, a lot of peer pressure happening.
Which one is that?
Deshaun Watson went off the board at 4-12 in this one.
So yeah, this is Earth, Wind, and Fire division.
That's Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I believe we got Lord Don't Lose in there too. Yeah,
and Casey Joyner.
Oh, you got Anthony in here too.
Yeah,
Robbie.
Anthony.
Look at that.
Yeah. Oh wait, let me see which. Oh yeah, we got Anthony Ryan. Oh damn. So when I look at his team too, Josh Allen, Chubb. Yeah, I like that team right there. I like that team.
Yeah,
and I like Lord Don't Lose his team as well. Murray, Hicks, Akers, Mixon, Thomas.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful drafting.
Except for the Akers pick.
I love the Akers pick. I love the Akers pick.
I would have
It's a
taken
mix.
Gibson. I would have taken Gibson, but
I mean, I would have taken Gibson over Akers as well, but I'm a truther of both. I wasn't able to get either one in my league, so I ended up with CEH as my RB2. But I would have avoided Joe Mixon, possibly. I maybe would have gone Najee. I would have 100% gone Najee or Aaron Jones over. Wait, no, those guys were already taken. So I probably would have gone Dobbins over Mixon. But yeah, there's just a little differences but I mean, Mixon in the fourth, that's beautiful.
Oh yeah. Well,
I'm
there
just-
was a Mixon at the 103 that got blurted out earlier, and I'm like, ugh.
interesting.
I'm sure
the
they
fuck?
had their reasons. So
What reason other than I am purposely tanking? Who the hell?
The same
is
reason
it?
that Jonathan Taylor's going 101.
Yeah, that's
Robbie, do you want me to start singing reasons now?
The reasons you got the this. Your
Oh,
sponsor
man.
looks like shit.
Oh, we got Joey Wright in the comments. He would
Joey?
like to be roasted. He's in the Talking Heads division.
What is there
but-
to roast out for your 3 picks? The only thing
Yeah.
to roast is that there's only 3 fucking picks.
yeah,
Oh my God.
serious.
Snail mail.
Well, hold
isn't
on.
a roster. This is nothing.
Let's give it a refresh. It might because we got the refresh to the latest version thing going here. So it's possible that it might be maybe he's got a 4th pick.
You better tell.
No,
him
he
what their
doesn't. He
reason-
just wants us to roast his 3 picks. Your roster sucks, Joey.
Is that- you want me to tell your roster sucks? Your roster is actually pretty decent so far.
Yeah.
Seriously, getting
Us
Dak
is
at
good.
the 110? I've seen
Getting Brady at the 3-3 is nice too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's already looking sexy. Like for
Brady.
real, for real.
Brady went 112 in my draft. We had 10
Wow.
10 quarterbacks go in the first round.
I saw Brady go 109 and 1.
Wow.
Like-
And I know who it was too, and I can't pull it off the top of my head.
You have to be walking
I love
around
it.
freaking Mr. Big Chest right now for 3 picks. Like off of those 3 picks, I'd be like, it's already
Yes.
done.
Yes.
Yeah. He just wants us to relish in his glory so
Glory,
far. A 10th
Okay.
of the way through the draft.
Woo, woo, my old writer did
Joey,
not
you're
snipe
fine.
me. Woo, my
Well,
old writer
Rose-
did not just snipe me. That was good. And I thought the homie Mr. Two Knees freaking was about to maybe snipe my receiver, but he went Matt Ryan. Yeah, you play your game. Don't play my game. Play your game.
Yeah, it was my man FFA Mung over at Smash Accept. He took Brady at 109.
Nice.
Nice.
He's a Patriots fan. Hey, Joey, just making sure. I hope that
Actually,
in the
that's not
10th
nice.
round, I hope that in the 10th round, you're not saying, "How did I get here?" So, talking
What? Holy
Oh yeah, this
amazing
man's
running
in my
back.
pick chat. This man's in my pick chat at pick 12, and he's having a hell of a
Oh
draft.
my
Shout
goodness.
out Jonathan Sale,
Wow.
dude. He's having a great draft.
It doesn't matter who
Wow.
like we already know that Trey Lance is gonna
Yeah.
start. Like I'm okay with that. Like that's actually one of the highest I've seen Trey Lance go actually. Fields at the 5-1. He'll start eventually. I mean, he can maybe get like a deep quarterback like Fitzpatrick or something like that, and maybe that'll actually end up being his real life, like his for real QB1. And then he'll balance that out with Trey Lance as QB2. I like what he's doing. It's a bold move, Cotton.
I
Look at
mean,
those running backs.
that 3rd round reversal coming in handy for Jonathan on this one. Man, Gibson,
So-
Henry, Kamara. You don't have to worry about running back for another 6 rounds.
Yeah, he didn't even have to do the Gibson. The Gibson was just to be like, oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you
Mhm.
fancy, like that's really all that was. That was a brag.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So my
Well, and-
my big question is, what if Jimmy G doesn't get hurt and Andy Dalton they play him just like we talked about earlier? If both of them are playing, he's got to go grab 2 more.
I don't believe that it's possible for both scenarios to balance in that way. I think that Lance, one of these 2 will be the day 1 starter.
I could see one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners gave up what 2 first-round picks to move up.
Correct.
snag Kimber? Was it 3? It might have been. It might have
think
even
it was
been 3
3.
for all I know.
And they were also trying to clear Jimmy G off the team so they could also save
Right.
some money on the books.
Yep.
So I
Right.
think that Trey Lance is 100% the guy.
I'm grabbing Jimmy G in any draft that I have. I'll reach for Jimmy G just to make sure I have the starter on that team.
Is it only
'Cause
because
I don't trust it.
I need to ask a question? Is it only because he got it in with Kiera Mia? Is it only because he had a porn star? But that's the only thing I respect.
Hey,
about
you got to
that.
give him props for it, don't you?
Exactly. Like, that's the only logic that I see behind it.
Oh man, I mean, there's something about Lance. Though, like he still feels like a project. Throwing him out there like that's
See,
bold.
that's and they
That-
have Jimmy
that's the
G
thing.
under contract, and he literally just took them to a Super Bowl 2 years ago. I mean, if you're unsure about Lance, at least you have Jimmy there to start. And it's the same thing with Dalton. It's a lot more tenuous for Dalton in Chicago than it is for Jimmy G and San Fran, in my opinion.
If you're drafting Fields, you're 100%. You need to secure that with Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What I'll say kind of about the two is, heading in with the QB1 that's a rookie, you're walking in with a lot of unpredictability.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. You just need to be willing to accept the risk. Turnovers are going to happen. These guys have not played at NFL speed before. We have not seen them at NFL speed before. We're only going to get 3 preseason games. So it is going to be different. I mean, but best of luck. Best of luck for that roster. Was that Jonathan Sales roster? Nice. I think I follow. I follow Sales. I think he follows me.
Person who posted that wanted us to look at their roster. He might be in a satellite, so I cannot see it. So let's move on and see if we got a lot of satellite players that are
They're like, grade my roster.
here. We'll look at Jake. Jake Anderson, one of the creators of the SFB Avi makers. Again, this dude's a fucking wizard. I don't understand. He makes
oh my God.
Yeah,
What the heck?
He's a wizard in his drafts too. But okay, so he makes everything on his phone. He doesn't have like Photoshop or anything, and it's the craziest shit because he makes some of like the cleanest designs I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, I don't know how you do this because like I can't even operate my phone. I feel like an old fuck trying to operate my phone, and he's sitting here making these masterpieces like Picasso. I mean,
bro,
this is
that
nuts.
lineup.
Yeah, that's something else.
I love Javonte Williams at that point.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you playing fantasy football against? Mike Tyson? Like this is like the lineup. Like if this lineup was like a fist of this lineup was a boxer, this would be the only boxer that's gonna put Mike Tyson in the dirt. Like this is that lineup. Like this is the one quick. Like this is the haymaker. Like this is a haymaker.
Wow.
Oh my
I Sanders, I'm not big on.
That's the only question mark.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can argue with, and the other thing. I mean, now Jake has to worry about every Aaron Rodgers piece of news that comes out for the next 2 months. So Godspeed.
I mean, he's gonna play. He's gonna play.
Yeah, he will. I mean, if he doesn't, I 100% blame his. Secret Life of an American Teenager fiance that doesn't know what football is. I mean, the Javonte Williams pick, I was high on him. I'm like, okay, like 7th, 8th round. And then he went in the 5th in Queen. He went before J.K. Dobbins. And
wow.
I mean, very bold. I mean, I will say it was a Broncos fan that made the selection. But at the same time, I mean, the only thing stopping him there from having any, solid season is an aging Melvin Gordon who continues to slip in places. I'm still not entirely sure what type of role Javonte Williams is
I'm-
going to have.
Like
I think he's the workhorse right out the gate.
Really? Wow.
I'll be driving down to camp here in a couple of weeks, and I just want to kind of see some things up close. You know, it's just where just getting boots on the ground. I just want to get boots on the ground and kind of see that situation up close and personal before I really plant my flag with the take. And now that fucking I'm vaccinated, I can go and I can go do that. So that's really my take on Javonte. I don't want to say that I want to say that he's a guy so bad, but I'm like
he's the guy in 2022,
right? But I'm also like when has a UNC running back done it? Like the greatest player in UNC history is Lawrence Taylor. Like outside of that, Trubisky came from UNC. He flopped.
Julius Peppers.
Okay, Peppers. Yeah, Peppers was fire. There was a college that
I'm trying to remember any running back out of there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, I know that's not a take to just and then you shouldn't just judge a book by its cover. You should just go super bland. But it's like the jury's still out on NDSU quarterbacks, and we talked about Trey Lance in the last team that we just broke down. And I mean, with that situation, it's like, all right, well, like there's the Carson Wentz came out, he was good, and then kind of fizzled out. Easton Stick never got an opportunity in San Diego. I'm sorry, Los Angeles, what they want to claim now. They're the Carson City Chargers for life there. But that was a very LA thing. I'm so sorry. But
it's
like
true.
So like we never saw Easton Stick. So it's like, okay, is Trey Lance really gonna be that guy? I'm having that same worry with Javonte. Where the jury is still out on this situation, if that makes sense.
The one thing
Yeah,
that has me thinking is that Melvin Gordon did not go to minicamp, and he does have that DUI on his back there.
I think true. And Elway also doesn't play when it comes to disciplinary problems. Like we also haven't heard hell. I'll switch to the other side of the ball. We haven't heard words out of Von Miller for months.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's also true.
So right. I'm like these guys could be out the door. There's a chance that they, even with Javonte Williams being the RB1, that the defense isn't able to put the ball in Locke's hands enough because he's probably going to be the QB as of now. Locke or Rodgers, whoever's going to be, the defense is probably not going to be able to put the ball in these guys' hands enough to where they can honestly be running the ball.
I mean, I'm almost to the point where, again, if the Rodgers thing, I think the Rodgers thing's a pipe dream at this point for the Broncos.
Right. Same. Yeah.
Right. But I would not be shocked if Teddy is starting by week 4 in Denver. I really wouldn't. I think a lot of people look at that as a negative, but at the same time, you look at what he was able to do in Carolina and be able to supplement Anderson, able to supplement Moore, and
he was
QB Samuel.
19. He was QB 19. So Teddy Roosevelt's nothing to be frowning upon in that situation.
Right. And I think a lot of people look at him though as like this death wish, which is asinine, that he was able to run an offense where 3 receivers, were able to get over 1,000 yards receiving. Mike Davis became a starting caliber running back. I'm still trying to process that after the Bears cut him for a 4th round pick to save that in restricted or in the compensatory situation. I mean, it's a situation where I feel like he might almost be a higher floor guy, which honestly, if again, like you said, Von Miller, is he coming back? Is he not? We still have Bradley Chubb there. They pick up Kyle Fuller after the Bears cut him. I mean, they can still lean on that defense a little bit. And I mean, that offense just has to be middle of the road as far as I'm concerned in order to get anything going and to keep the opportunities on the field for both the running game and the passing game.
Dude, I love that we just went off and had this conversation, because the best analytics that you're going to get in fantasy football is how real football correlates to how that's going to affect your roster. And I don't think that enough people do that enough. So I love that we just diagnose that whole different situation for people. Like that's a good clip right there to like boom, like repurpose and repackage like in a shorter form content, like give people. This roster though, this looks pretty fascinating.
So this is one of my opponents in the Queen division. Barrel is he's rolling with the wide receivers here. I'm a little disappointed that he's got that stack there with Metcalf, McLaurin, and Julio to wrap up the sixth round there.
That's just dirty,
man. I honestly, I mean, you get Tannehill and Julio on the stack. I guess the real question, and I don't know if really a lot of people have really talked about it, is the odds that Julio plays. I mean, he put his over-under at 13.5 games. I mean, you put him onto a natural field for the first time in his career. I don't know if he's going to be as explosive as he was in the Dome. I really don't. I have that concern about him headed to Nashville.
Good point.
I'm not entirely sure if it's a valid excuse, but at the same time, he's also not going to be commanding, these double team, triple team down the field because here's AJ Brown, this pedigree wide receiver, lining up on the opposite side of the field.
Do we have Julio's injury log? Like, because if all of his injuries took place on natural turf, then that could maybe be something. But if each injury was in the Dome, then maybe this change helps. I don't know if maybe I'm painting a narrative here, or if I'm reaching for a narrative, but just maybe something to think about.
Let's see here. We've got.
By the way, Steven, you have the voice of Fergie and Jesus.
I'm sitting in my COVID project. I've got a sound booth in my basement, so that's what I'm currently sitting in, surrounded by all this foam. I love this high risk
recording studio.
Yes, I my voiceover work. High risk, chance of injury in 2021, 83%.
For two,
I mean, just look at this list of injuries. Oh my God.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, you have to worry. You have to worry about Julio's health. As he gets later and later in his career, and I love the move for the Titans. I love the move for Ryan Tannehill. I love the move for AJ Brown. It's just whether Julio can really stay healthy, and that was the worry for me. I don't think he slides down a little bit each year just because he's getting older to the point that he's just not able to get through all these games.
Dude, I so need like this is a perfect I gotta
right?
Say what?
Is this player profilers?
This is sportsinjurypredictor.com.
I so need to get this over to Steffi and ask because she's a sportsman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm now that we're looking at this, now that I just said this on air, like Joe, I'm now like I think I want to fade. Like
I've been fading. I wrote an article. I wrote an article earlier this offseason for Ball Blast on guys I wanted to avoid, and Julio was there, and that was right after the trade. So, I'm definitely fading Julio because he's just going too early. People are still taking him as like a top 18 guy, and I just don't see him that way anymore.
Damn.
I mean, it's one of those things. He's gonna ball out when he plays, but man, looking at that, I think
how much will he play? That's the problem because he's gonna be a wide receiver one when he does. Because it's still Julio.
What I'm looking at here for Barrels, I want to know where AJ Brown went. Because
let's find out. That's the fun of the big board.
Yeah, I think that's going to be that's going to be the determining factor in how. Don't get me wrong. And Barrel, if you're watching, I don't want you to be like, "Oh my God,
Dan's in here. Dan's in this one.
Yeah,
the pick before Metcalf. So
and
it's very
Steven's
possible. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
this is
roast
yours.
where I picked and
Okay.
why I didn't pick other guys. They literally ate my cue alive as soon as I picked Carson Wentz, and I'm still kicking myself over it.
You should.
But look at
Man,
who's
yeah.
gone before. I think you needed to do that.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
see.
like that was the issue. Is I'm not big on Tua. I'm just not.
AJ
you
Brown,
gotta go
went the
Wednesday.
pick before. AJ
Right.
Brown went the pick before, so
Yeah.
So that's what messed up that stat.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
that would be the only difference. Let me see.
and he took it after the run that also ate Stevens' cue. So
yeah.
I mean, he kind of got hamstrung there. Julio's the last of like an area there, though. You could have gone Godwin. I would have rather had Godwin over Julio.
I mean,
I like that. I like that he chased the stack. I have no problems with that. And then he still has the ability if he wants to get Fitzpatrick in later rounds.
Right.
So I'm okay with where he's going with this strategy. I like it. I fucks with it.
The one thing is I just counted up. He's got 22 quarterbacks that have already gone ahead of his QB2.
Yep.
It looks like nobody is going to take another quarterback before him. So he's going to get the 23rd best quarterback on the board.
That's where you go Fitzpatrick. Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
where you do that.
Yeah, he can take Fields since Steven decided to pass on him for Carson Wentz.
That's going to be the watchdog for the season, and I don't think Dave's ever going to let me live it down if Wentz just shits the bed again.
But Steven is able.
I don't think he will. I I really think you're okay there.
But Steven is able to go with in any one of the Bengals receivers are fantasy friendly. The Indy situation is a little bit harder to diagnose, but I have no problems going Michael Pittman in later.
Michael Pittman article coming out this week on Michael Pittman for me. Wide receiver 2 possibilities.
Oh, look at that!
He's got
all y'all
Plant
out
that
there,
flag.
Full speed ahead.
all y'all freaking Paris Campbell truthers out there. All right, I'm letting y'all know the man is built the same way as me. Again, great guy, but a motherfucking skeleton. Okay,
And not very durable either.
so all y'all parents.
I don't know if Robbie's durable, but
bro, I am 30. I am not. No, I am done playing football. I hung up my cleats at 28. I was like, I am done. I'm fucking done playing football. I was like, I'm tired of getting hit. This shit hurts.
So the Canton game ain't happening.
Bro, no, I'm flying in early.
Robbie would suit up for the
Yeah.
Canton game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, but like I'm flying in Friday. Like I'll be there early enough, but then I got to host draft night out Saturday.
That's right.
So like if y'all are there early enough, on Friday, yes, you can get this smoke. I will still be at the field, still running my routes. I'm flying out with my cleats and my gloves and everything. Like I don't care. Yeah. A lot of people out on Twitter talking shit, and I'm gonna show them up.
I'd like to see fantasy Twitter try to put together like a 6-on-6, 7-on-7 type of game.
Like a flag football game.
Yeah, that would be some comedy there.
It's Andy Holloway flicking a 9 route to me. And I'm just like, fastest boy.
Little step and then gone. Little juke move at the line, boom, gone.
Yeah, Andy would be the quarterback of that bunch.
Bro, it's not the juke move that you got to worry about with me. It's my long ass arms coming smack on your hands. Don't pop your hands one good time to make sure like, there you go, that hurt. I'm gonna pop you like a damn 2-year-old. You try and jam me at the line, you better play off of me.
just a swift elbow. No one will notice. So I think that is all of the people that had requests for their teams.
I appreciate the people for requesting us to grade their teams and allowing us that.
I'm sure we'll get some more. I know a lot of people are
Damn.
kind of irritated, I guess is the right word, that they're kind of stuck in the second round right now. But don't worry, people. Like some drafts, they go slow. you just got to enjoy the moment. And again, this is for raising money for a fantastic cause. Like we mentioned when we first started this off, the SFB Podathon wrapping up this morning. Sal, Steve, Kevin, well over $20,000. I got to see where they're at now because I mean
They didn't hit 35. I want to say 35, 40. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it's the goal was 50K. The goal was 50K.
Yeah, for everything. Yeah. 28,475 is where just the Podathon is. I don't think that includes any of the trophy smack match.
There was a lot of shots. There's
a lot of shots on a Tuesday. And so they were donating $100 for every single shot that somebody took and posted on Twitter. Like we mentioned, the Avi makers were over $6,000 in avatars for Twitter. The t-shirts, you have Viridian Global, you have RotoWear, you have FF Pod shirts. I know Pod shirts is over $2,000.
Damn. And then I need to fucking raise more money, man. I need to come up with something cooler. Like, my gosh, I'm getting slaughtered in terms of donations, like charitable donations. Damn.
Hey, we're all one on this one. That's what we got to look at.
We're all one, but you know me is like how I am. I'm like, huh.
Gotta go at it.
I felt cool for doing $30.
And then the Fantasy Cares Eliminators as well. We can't forget about that and everything that John Bosch has put on as well. He's raised tens of thousands of dollars in that. So again, I think 50,000 has been reached and then some already, but there's still a couple days left to donate. If you have not already, we'll drop this up here as well. Visit SFB Podathon on Twitter for the link to donate to Fantasy Cares. The donation bin is open through Thursday or Friday, one of the 2 days. It might be Friday.
I'm probably gonna hit up Sal and I'm gonna be like, you're keeping that thing open until Rumboys After Dark, please, bro. I'm gonna be like, keep that thing open and watch me do me. Watch me bring some big names on this Friday.
Friday night, we got it rolling.
So I'm gonna hit up Sal.
He might be sleeping. I don't know what he's doing. He was awake at like 4:00. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? How are you alive?
He's gonna sleep for like 15 hours.
He's like, I took a 2-hour nap. I'm like, what do you mean you took a 2-hour nap? You were up for like 28 hours.
Bro, fucking, I felt so bad. Like once Herms and I got off the, I didn't feel bad, but like I kind of did, like in a way where like when Herms and I got off the Podathon with the homie, I was like. He was like, bro, he's like, you and Sal had a moment. Y'all didn't even cry together. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't even realize it. I was like, we started talking about, mental health, and bringing awareness to that. And then, boom, like Sal teared up. I started to tear up like a little bit. I tried to hold up. Thanks, man. I'm in the Tupac division, West Side. But it was a beautiful, beautiful night. So shout out to all those guys, man. And shout out to like just that whole segment. That whole segment of the show. Being transparent and bringing awareness where we can. This Saturday, Mental Health Awareness Podathon going down. Hayden Hurst Foundation. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Kathy. Both of you guys are amazing. Shout out to everyone over at Going for Two for hosting that. Like so much is going on right now during the month of July in terms of charity. The Rum Boys charity leagues are going to be announced this week, this Friday. So we're going to start filling those in. We're going to have probably like 3 to 5 charity leagues. Then we're going to have a couple of free leagues for the newbies, and then for the analysts, we're going to take the gloves off and we're going to have our leagues where, oh, it's gonna go down. It's gonna be
all going down. It's all
exactly.
Going down.
So but no, like this is just a beautiful time, and I just want to state, we're lucky to be here. We're lucky to be able to do this, and it's a pleasure to be able to share the stage with you guys.
Absolutely, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate all you guys coming on and joining us here this evening. And again, like you said, Robbie, it's a fantastic time in the community right now. It's all for a great cause. Everybody coming together, and again for the greater good and for causes that everybody is very passionate about, going a very, very long way in making a difference in countless lives. Honestly, I mean, I honestly cannot wait to see, where all of the money goes into the pictures once the Toys for Tots thing happens and they fill up those cards. That's the goosebump moment right there. That's how it goes. But
I gotta tell Scott to let me pull up in the hood with a U-Haul, just start letting toys out, start passing them out like I'm Frank Lucas.
Skinniest Santa Claus ever.
That is definitely hood claws right there. That is definitely hood claws.
Just as big a heart, though. Just as big a heart. Yeah.
Always.
Exactly.
I love you.
All right. Well, before we wrap up here, I'll let everybody, let everyone else know that's watching where they can find your work. And Jorge, we'll start off with you.
Well, you got Twitter. You got me at Jorge Martin 17. You could find our original content at familiaffb.com. I'm in the middle of a beat writer series, so talking with all sorts of beat writers. Also follow our YouTube page. Everything's Familia FFB. So thank you so much for having me. I have a blast. Everybody give to Fantasy Cares. Please, please, please. Por favor. Salud.
Robbie, how about you? I get you off guard.
You did that so smooth. It's your boy Rumboys Robbie. You can find me on Twitter at Rumboys R. Everywhere else on social media at Rumboys, spelled as ZNET. Check us out, rumboys.com. The homie Bowman Big Time just dropped a Kyle Pitts article on rumboys.com today, so make sure you check out the lore of Kyle Pitts. Graphics and editing done by the youngest editor in the game, Rumboys Raj. Man's only 16 and killing it. Like, what a great junior intern. Other than that, shout out to my staff. Shout out to all the fantasy analysts that have came in this industry before me. Shout out to all the fantasy analysts that are going to be in this industry after me. And download the SportsMe app, the newest, fastest, quickest way to get fantasy football advice out. You can ask questions or even debate your favorite topics with some of your favorite analysts in the industry.
Yeah, the debates are the fun part, that's for sure, on that SportsMe app. So be sure to download it. And last but not least, Sam.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Swagman95. Got a bunch of new stuff coming out for Ball Blast. Like I said, Michael Pittman article coming out, as well as a Cortland Sutton article coming out in a couple of weeks. And then for Football Guys, dropped my first article over there, which is, basically a long and deep look at mobile quarterbacks and how they kind of go forth over time and whether they can be set up for fantasy success on their passing abilities. And then also a Keenan Allen player spotlight dropping in the next week or so as well there.
May or not have influenced your decision to draft him in SFB 11.
Your fantasy success, man. Your fantasy success.
Lots of great content.
I cannot confirm or deny this.
Lots of great content from these three. Appreciate all you guys hopping on and talking some SFB 11 and breaking down the early days of the drafts. Still plenty of time to go, and we'll probably wrap up here in about 2 weeks when it's all said and done. But we'll come back on for more roasting of rosters once things are complete later on down the road this month. And also, be sure to keep an eye out for One Up Fantasy coming to Shy City Sports and TTNL later this month. I'm Steven Johnson. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you later.
Billy.
Salud.